Welcome to e-commerce, unlocking a new revenue stream. Go Integrations is a fast-growing development and consulting firm that focuses on helping small and mid-market companies achieve their ultimate goals and reach their full potential through the usage of industry-leading cloud-based solutions, which can connect seamlessly with their back-office ERP systems. Go Integrations is proud to offer a number of solutions to the Spire community in the form of Zoho CRM and Zoho Analytics, a powerful business intelligence tool. Also, e-commerce integrations focused on WooCommerce, BigCommerce, and of course Shopify. Finally, our most recent addition to our portfolio is Super FSM, which stands for Field Service Management. While we won't be showcasing this product specifically at this event, I do encourage you to stop by our booth to learn more about this exciting new product and all the functionality it can provide to your team in the field. Why sell online, you may ask? Well, that's easy. There are many reasons why companies decide to begin or continue selling online, and they include to reach new customers. Selling online can open up more markets and reach customers that may not otherwise have been able to purchase your product. By reaching new customers and getting yourself and your products out there for the world to see or buy, then you are simultaneously growing your brand and allowing more people to know about you. Customers these days want the ability to make their own decisions and, more importantly, make those decisions when they want to do so. By offering them the ability to buy online, you are essentially empowering them to make those purchases when it's convenient for them, whether that be during the day or middle of the night. Your online store never sleeps. With an integrated web store, orders can be automatically pushed to Spire for fulfillment. Inventory levels controlled by Spire can be reflected on the site. New customers who may want to start buying from you can either just start or fill out an application if you require approval first. By integrating your web store with Spire and streamlining some of these processes, you can also reduce the overall costs required to operate, since multiple orders can be taken at the same time through the site and fed into Spire so that the team on the back end can focus on fulfillment and inventory management instead of order entry. Now that we've talked about the reasons of why you should sell online, the next thing we like to talk with clients about is how you should go about doing that. So below are some things that we typically go through with companies as they begin the journey into online sales. Who are you trying to go after? Maybe your products can be used across multiple industries. However, you want to focus your online sales to just deal with a specific sector. Are you selling to other businesses, or will you be selling direct to consumer? Typically, selling B2B also includes variable pricing. So you want to review how your pricing is being handled now and make sure that it can be repeated online. Whereas B2C sites typically just pick a single price that everyone gets regardless of who they are. We've worked with clients who have simple pricing, but then also some with extremely complex pricing structures set up within Spire. So our team is well versed in understanding and working with you to get that pushed to your web store. Will this store be used to attract new business? Maybe smaller customers who the sales team don't typically engage with, but you still would ideally like to work with. If you're focused on existing customers, then consider what incentives can you offer to entice them to begin buying online opposed to the old way, which could either be phone or email. Customer portal that shows their account history or easy to use order process are some good examples of ways of enticing this customer base. Finally, what type of product are we selling, and what does it require? Does it require technical information? Believe it or not, almost any product can be sold online. However, depending upon the type of product it is, you may want to consider the amount of information provided to online buyers so that they are well informed. Also, if certain items can be bought online while others may need a discussion with one of your experts, then having a contact for quote option for those items is a great way to help fill your pipeline. Now, before we actually go and look at an example of a Shopify site with integration of Spire, I wanted to quickly walk through some of the integration options we provide when it comes to a web store. Our integration covers the three pillars of a web store: products, customers, and orders. Under the product section, we typically sync things such as pricing, including levels and or price matrix, cost, stock availability, descriptions, SKU, UPC, weight, and even UDFs if needed. For customers, we can sync both billing and shipping info from Spire to the web store, or even create new customers in Spire based upon new customers placing their first orders. Orders are obviously synced to Spire so that they can be fulfilled, and with that, Once they are ready to ship, we're able to push back to the web store an update that will mark the related order as fulfilled, which if set up, can trigger notifications to be sent via the web store to the customer, informing them that their order has been shipped. Finally, for our Shopify customers, we do have an optional add-on in the form of a customer portal that will allow online customers to view such things as balance owing on their account, synced from Spire, outstanding invoices, open orders, and sales history, all of which is brought in from Spire and can include transactions that were made outside of the web store. All right, enough explanation around e-commerce. Let's now jump into our Shopify site and take a look. Now, as we turn to our live demo, we're first going to look at the back end of a Shopify store to give you a sense of what you could see as the user. Then we will move on and we will look at this from the front end. So first things first, as you log in, what you will notice is that you are looking at the admin panel. On the left-hand side, we have home, we have open orders and closed orders, products, customers, content, when we're talking about the marketing side, analytics, marketing pieces, etc. And we can also view the online store. So if I'm looking through the list, I can look at open orders that are currently in the system. Some have been fulfilled, some are still sitting open. As we can see, Frank here has made a lot of purchases with us. If we want to, we can actually create draft orders, which essentially are orders we create for customers on their behalf. They can be then either handed over to the customer for approval, payment if needed, and then final sign off, or we can be creating draft orders for customers who are calling to place orders with us, but we would prefer to do it online versus directly in the system. We also have a list of products, and as you can see here, we have various items such as this wall sconce, the LED step light, and a few other items that as we go into this, and I'll jump over into Spire in a second when we get to the products section and show you how the two pieces are tying together. Then we also have some customers. So as you can see, we just have a few sample customers that are in the system that include both newly signed up accounts as well as customers that may already exist within Spire. So as we're browsing through the site, if we look at the product section first, and let's say I bring up the wall sconce here, as you can see, it says that there is 3,661 of those in stock. If I click on that, I get more information related to the description. I can see some media information such as images or videos if we would like to do that. I can see what the price is. If we had to compare at either, let's say the SRP, we can include that, especially if that was listed in Spire as, let's say, a different price level. We have our cost, which then shows us our profit and margins. Our SKU, which is how we associate that with Spire. And then finally down here, if we had multiple locations, i.e. warehouses, and how much we're stocking in each warehouse, we could even incorporate that into the system down here. Now, if I switch over into Spire and I pull up that item specifically, as you can see, there's the SKU, there's the item, there's what the price is, here's what the cost was showing as again. And down at the bottom, we can see that there is available quantity of 3,661. That's just one example of a number of products in the system that are all set up, just like this one right here. Again, detailed description with images, all stored or could be stored directly in Shopify. Also, we can sync in things like images from external sources such as Spire, Google Docs, Google Drive, etc. We have the price, we have the cost, we have the stock, the SKU number again, how much is available, and then finally we actually also have incorporated the weight for this item. And again, if I go back into the system, get out of this item. Now, as I go into Spire, you will see this item right here. If we pull that up, as we just looked at it on the site, we can see the price, the cost, the margins, as well as the weight that I just identified. All of these items can carry over. Now, if we were looking at dealing with a B2B site and we wanted to get into the price levels, sell price levels, we can set that up and we can sync multiple price levels for an item from Spire into Shopify for the purpose of showing customers when they logged in. Same thing too when we get into the price matrix. Now, as we start to proceed through the system, what I'm going to do is we're going to now look and we're going to switch to the front end of the site and show you what it looks like as if you were a visitor to the system. Now, as we log in, we can see here that we're on the home page. Or sorry, as we come to the site, I should say, we're on the home page. Now, just a quick side note, this little item down here in the corner is actually an instant chat function that is actually connected with Zoho, which is then connected with the CRM or the Zoho desk. So again, this is a very convenient thing for users who want to get a well-rounded, or for companies who want to engage their front office team with the back office team when all working with customers. We're able to incorporate all those pieces together here. As we're scrolling through the list, if I wanted to pull up, let's say, ceiling collections, and I wanted to find, let's say, this item right here, what I could do, and I am currently logged into the system, or into my account, I should say, I can add a quantity. So if I want to add 3 of those, I can add those to my cart. I can either continue shopping, or I can view my cart, and then I can look to check out. As we go through the checkout process, I can opt to sign in or sign up for newsletters. Again, marketing perspective. It shows me my address and everything that was logged with my account. I can continue. Oops, sorry, I forgot to add my company. So I'll call it Go Integrations. And the phone number, which is 555-555-5555. Oh, whoops. 416-283-231. And hit continue. As we get past the section asking for our shipping information and who we are, next we get, as we get past where we're going to ship it to, the next we get to the shipping methods. Now again, we can set standard shipping rates, we can also set express rates, and we can define even regions and areas. All stuff that can be configured within Shopify site as you're going through the deployment of your web store. As we hit continue, we get to the next page whereby it's summarizing everything that we're looking at. It identifies shipping as well. If we had taxes configured, which I don't because this is a development store, we would incorporate that. Again, this information down here is identifying why it's showing like this. So if I was to add the fake number for our development store, and then 25, and then hit pay now. It's going to confirm my order and tell me where it's going to be shipped. All of this is done from the front end. Again, we are looking at this as if we are a front end user. Now down in the corner, it will notify us that an order has been placed. So that comes into the back end to the administrators and managers of the site, as well as the customer will get an order confirmation email if that was set up and configured for that individual. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump over into Spire, and we're going to look at the order that has now been dropped into the Spire. Now, as we jump back into Spire, I'm going to close the window related to this inventory item. I'm going to go over to my sales section. I'm going to look at my list of sales orders. As you'll notice, this order has already come down from the site into Spire. It's tied to our Go Integrations customer account, which is the company. It has on there my information. So it has this phone number here. I had used this previously in testing, therefore my information was actually in there as well, which just defaulted to it. The email address that we have used, it states the order date. It also has down here the item, the quantity to ship, the price, costs, etc. Now, you will notice that the dollar amount down here for the grand total differs from what we had on the site. That was because the store that we're working with is a development store right now, and we just haven't configured taxes. Normally in a live production site, taxes would be configured within the Shopify store, which would mirror Spire when those orders come down. That is something that would be discussed and our team would go through with your staff. Now, from this point, we can simply process this order. I wanted to preview everything I could. Otherwise, once I've done that, if I would like to now invoice this in itself, if I just put it on account, will now trigger that to actually now be sent. That now that status of this this order is closed, this is now going to push back to Shopify, marking that order on Shopify itself as an updated as in their terms fulfilled. So let's switch back over now and take a look at that. So now what we're actually going to do is we're going to look in the back end of the site. And as you can see here, this order placed today by Jeff was authorized for the payment and is now marked as fulfilled. If I open this order, you will see that these three items, this item with a quantity of 3 has been fulfilled and it is going to be shipped to this address. Now, one thing to note is that in the system, we are able to add tracking number and the shipping carrier. Both items that live also within the Spire order. So if those items are, or those fields are getting filled out within Spire, they too can be mapped back to here. When this is updated, as you can see here, through our integration, we can enable the send notification email to be triggered to send to the customer. That in turn will give the customer notification that their order has been fulfilled by your team and is being shipped, along with what carrier it is coming on behalf of and the tracking number. So if the customer wishes, they can actually track that package right to their door. Now that that order has been fulfilled, we can see in the system here that we're done with this order. We have other orders that we could look at and we may have to work on, which would also live in Spire. But for now, this order that we've just gone through was brought down to Spire from being placed online. And then once it was fulfilled, which obviously we did very quickly, it was pushed back to Shopify and is now marked as fulfilled with the authorized payment being done. Now, if I jump over into the front end of the site and I go back into the system where we're looking right now, and I apologize for jumping around on you a little bit here, but if I was looking at the home page or I jumped came off of the checkout page, if I look at my account on the back end of the system, you'll see that that order right here placed today was authorized and fulfilled for this total dollar amount. If I would like to look at that order, I can click on here to get to it. If I want to view my addresses, I can see that from within here. If I'd like to go ahead and place more orders, I can do so. If I had a question on this order, this is where the Spire integration, the Shopify and Zoho integration for the live chat function could be quite handy for your team fielding and answering questions that customers may have. Now, as one final thing before we finish for today, looking back at the back end of the system and looking under customers, Jeff right here, who was the customer who was just added to the system and would just place that order. What you can see is as we look down the side, we have all of his information. But we also have down here under the notes section, something that indicates a random string of numbers. That is actually the customer number that has been added to Spire, which again could be alphanumeric if needed, which is now mapped back here so that any future orders that this customer places through their account online will always be mapped back to the same customer record so that it is not creating new or duplicate customer accounts. So in summary, we are able to sync customers, we're able to sync products, and we are also able to sync orders. And items entered into Spire can then be fulfilled and written back to Shopify to create yet one more customer service perspective as informing your customers of the shipment and its pending arrival. If you have any questions, please feel free to stop by our booth. I'll be happy to go through them with you and or discuss what you are hoping to find and achieve with your own web store. Thanks so much. Have a great day.